Alright, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Someone's PC. What we have right here is a commentary game for Dylan and I when we were playtesting this last weekend. Um, he's going to be playing Vespiquen Evolutions, one of the new variants that should be good going into X and Y on. And I'll be using Vileplume Giratina, standard stuff. Like, we're pretty much just taking ideas that we know the community is looking for, and like just our basic builds that how we want to start out playing. So I'll be on the left playing Giratina Vileplume, and then Dylan's on the right. And yeah, this should be good. Dylan, you got anything?
No, we're just trying to see how all the XY on decks are going to interact with each other. I mean, we know that if Russ gets a quick Vileplume, then Vespiquen's not going to be able to play its battle compressors or really set up.
Yeah.
So Russ is really going to be looking for a turn 1 Vileplume ideally. And I'm going to be trying to burn all my item cards as fast as possible and play Hex Maniac as the game progresses to turn off Vileplume and maybe be able to use some battle compressors and BS Seekers during the game.
So the other thing here is as soon as I get off a Giratina attack, then Dylan stops playing his double colorless energies for the following turn, which is absurd for this matchup.
So this matchup is like really like a race kind of. It's almost like whoever gets, like, if you get your turn 1 Vileplume and your Giratina swinging like turn 2, I'm going to be under a lot of pressure, but if you don't get the Vileplume out right away and I get a bunch of double colorless energies on Vespiquens, you're probably going to be in a world of hurt if I could just do 170.
So in this game I start out with a Silent Lab to try and regulate Dylan's shaymins and his unknowns that he plays 4 of. I don't know how much shaymin. We actually have 3?
Yeah, I think we have 3
We have
right
3
now.
shaymins in the build.
We keep changing the list.
This is a horrible play by myself. Like, this is going to lose me the game right here. And I don't realize it until we start playing more and watch me draw this shaymin and unknown like an idiot.
Yeah.
And then now I'm losing to my own Silent Lab. But I'm holding him down. But the thing is, the way, like, the game plan with Giratina is to try to get it swinging as fast as possible and regulating his DCEs. That this doesn't help at all.
Yeah, I think Russ just tunneled like, oh, Silent Lab's going to slow him down because
Yeah.
I'm playing 3 Shaymin and 4 Unknowns in my deck.
This is why we play test.
Yeah. So that was a mistake that pretty much limited almost any chance of him getting a turn 1 Vileplume unless he literally drew Gloom, Giant Plant Forest, Vileplume.
Yeah, so as you're going to see,
So
I'm just going to be stuck
Started with a
for
bunnelby.
quite a minute, and the Silent Lab isn't holding him down at all. Like, I think he's just going to sycamore in a little bit.
Yeah, I think I have to Sycamore
and just
away
start
an
popping off
Unknown
from
or
there,
something.
yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, I'm just compressing away the Pokemon that aren't going to be that good in this matchup.
Yeah, he compressed already Flareon, Jolteon, and an Eevee.
Yeah, mine is just
And
kind
just
of like a
slurpuff.
standard Vespiquen deck, except for I have a couple cute things like bunnelby to get back resources off a bad Sycamore early game.
Which is really good. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to see later on in the game when he's going to start just using Rototiller or Rotilleray.
I'm playing my VS Seekers preemptively in case he does get a Vileplume, but as we can see from Russ's side, he's not even anywhere close to that. And now we're gonna go hard with Burrow. I burrow twice, and then I realized that I have a Vespiquen in my discard pile. So then you're gonna see like Russ take the Ultra Ball and draw that card instead, and I'm gonna shuffle the Vespiquen back in. That's kind of the confusion. We're playtesting, so we're like allowing take backs.
Alright, yeah. So I got a Giratina, which doesn't really happen. So he's gonna be like, okay, we're actually windmilling this instead.
Yeah, basically, my thought process.
Get the Ultra Ball. It's cute.
Yeah, my thought process is like I can just sit here with this bunnelby because until Russ gets the Giratina, he's not going to be able to apply any pressure. So I'm just gonna sit here behind this bunnelby, mill a bunch of cards, and try and set up Vespiquens.
Yeah. So the way I'm approaching it now, get this Vileplume set up as fast as possible, and try to regulate more compressors that are going to come down. He doesn't have enough damage to one-hit KO Giratina, nor does he have a Combi established. So what I'm thinking is just go get a Gloom, and then pass to him because my hand's still dead, because of the Silent Lab, because I'm an idiot. And there you go. I think Dylan benches a Combi
Pretty
following
adorable.
turn. I just passed it, yeah. So this is a Combi, and he's just trying to start setting up his Vespiquens.
Basically, all I want is
trying
like
to get
Vespiquens and DCEs and compressor away Pokemon because now I'm really anticipating the Vileplume for next turn.
Mhm.
So I think I had to Juniper away maybe a Vespiquen there. I saw a grass Pokemon, but I'm not really afraid. I'm not worried about any bad Sycamores this turn because I still have. I'm going to use Rototiller this turn with bunnelby. So any bad card off that Sycamore, I'm like, okay, that's just going to go right back in my deck. I established the Slurpuff so I can still draw under the item lock without Sycamore. So I can build up a big hand with items and Hex Maniac, and then be able to just Hex Maniac for to play all my VS Seekers and such when he finally establishes the Vileplume. slowly.
Yeah. Normally in a 2 out of 3 tournament, 2 out of 3 round, like any kind of tournament that's playing 2 out of 3, I would have scooped instantly. Like I wouldn't be sitting here wasting our time playing in a game I'm more than likely going to get blown out in, just so I can try to win game 2 and then we actually finish game 3.
Yeah, just
so that's something you have to keep a lookout on. Like when you're this far behind, like I don't even have a Giratina set up. It's turn 3, and I still have to get 2 energy attachments down onto it and start regulating. And he already has down 2 Combi. I would scoop here and just go to the next game.
Like,
but we wanted to show how like the progression.
There's some matchups when you're behind, like you can come back because it's such a good matchup, like Medactor against Yveltal. But like this is not one of those matchups, like Russ is saying. Yeah, this is like a very setup based matchup, and I agree with what Russ said. But just like not every like some people get like so demotivated when they're behind and they essentially like give up. But it's like no man, the matchup is so good for you. You can come back.
Sometimes you can do it.
Yeah, but this is just not one of those games. So I mean, I'm literally just sitting here tasting with slurpuff. There's no N in this format. You can't ace trainer because I'm not taking a prize. I feel like I had trouble drawing double colorless energies. Like I either had one in my hand or I just couldn't draw any. So you don't see me attaching energy a lot. But I'm just stockpiling a ton of cards and milling.
Yeah.
For the next handful of turns.
So I just drew past off the Vileplume and then artillery. Look, and I at this point I know there's no hope. Like I got a Giratina down.
Yeah.
Oh, it's adorable.
I'm like I don't want to lose.
Hey, what's going on here?
To getting something stuck, so I'll just put the AZ and the supporter back. But Russ finally gets a Giratina.
And no energy attachment.
So I'm like, oh wow, Russ is really struggling.
That Silent Lab. The Silent Lab's so real. It's like, what's his burrow? What's his burrow? Alright, so he's gonna Artillery 1 back in his deck, and then burrow another. Hits the Ace Trainer. Did it matter? No.
No.
Not
Not
at all. We got the energy. Let's go.
I'm like, oh man, I might actually get hit for 100 next turn.
And if you guys remember, I still have a shaymin in my hand, getting regulated by a Silent Lab. And Dylan's gonna play this correctly and not care about the Silent Lab at all.
Yeah.
Like, all right,
I had a stadium in my hand, but I realized that it was hurting Russ more than it was hurting me.
Yeah, so I'm in this really horrible situation where even if I get another energy, I have to hit the AZ next turn onto my active Oddish in order to start swinging with Giratina.
I hit the second Lysander too.
Yeah,
which was like super clutch because Russ discarded one early game.
Yeah, it was dirty.
Those burrow discards are gonna add up. Well, Birch.
He brought a DCE away. That's super slow.
But Birch is that boy.
Oh, I tried to level ball, and then Dylan goes, "Oh wait, you have a Vileplume." And I go, "Oh, I forgot how bad I'm blown out." Yeah, amateur. This is stupid. Play testing with this card. Those are things we run into. Like in our deck, we don't have any switches. We don't have any escape ropes because if your game plan's working and you get your turn 2, turn 3, turn 1 Vileplume, you have dead cards on switches.
Yeah, I don't even think I tasting that turn. I should have used tasting, but I'm just so far ahead. I'm just having so much fun milling cards.
So I finally throw away the Silent Lab. I was like, let me get this out of here. Shaymin, try and set up something. I need a supporter. So set up for 3. It's like, all right, cute. If I energy attach here and then AZ, we got a chance.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm not even worried about my Vespiquen dying because he doesn't even have Lysandres left in his deck. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna force him to knock out this bunnelby or he's gonna get decked out. So
I'm thinking, should I AZ out the Oddish from the active, or should I try and go for another supporter or wait? And you see the Ace Trainer in my hand in the very top, and I'm like, all right, I can bring him down to 3. So that was the mindset. I was like, all right, we're just gonna Birch.
Yeah, I think you had to Birch because you have to draw more energy. Like, you're never going to get a chance to put me at 3 cards because I'm just going to refuse to take a prize. I'm just going to keep using Burrow.
And this is where our build starts to falter. Because I have nothing else to switch out the Oddish besides AZ, me playing a supporter.
I don't even think it's our build. I think it's just a downfall of Vileplume.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a Vileplume out, you can't play Switch. You kind of
so there's no point of having
You need a supporter-based switching card, which is...
Starting Giratina is so important.
Yeah.
So important. So I was like, alright, Glim Vileplume, why not? Because I just want to burn cards out of my hand. I got nothing else.
Yeah.
Dylan looks... He just probably looking...
I think I was checking Lysander
count? Yeah.
I was checking Lysander and just seeing how much work bunnelby has done so far.
Yeah.
Just, like, smiling at myself.
I love this bro.
Yeah.
Alright, so he gets down the DCE.
Yeah, now there's a
threat.
And
at this point, I'm like, the game's over.
Yeah,
right?
there's a
So
threat
he pops 2 Giratina off the top of a burrow. And I'm gonna start scooping soon.
Skill based.
Like I'm thinking, I was like, all right, let's see what's going on.
He's
gonna Lysander. He's gonna do this.
You got so lucky that I missed him like the last 3 burrows.
I thought my hand was dead. And I was like, wait, let me Birch, Dylan. He goes, okay.
Okay. I was excited that you were just gonna pass and I was gonna burrow again.
Yeah, that was so bad. All right, so we Birch. Tails. I need a Fennekin coin.
Fennekin 20x.
And Fennekin, or 20x Fennekin. I draw extra cards.
Yeah.
And then Dylan's like, oh, dude, you hit tails. I was like, oh, I forgot. I'm so used to using Fennekin.
I tasting there.
So he burrows there. Hits your energy. Okay. You're good, Dylan. Let me throw this
Cards
supporter.
Are flying anywhere.
Cards are flying out of rates. Look at that easy off the top.
I was a little upset that Bunnelby's going to go down, to be honest.
Yeah.
At this point, I have a million cards and I have a Hex Maniac.
At this point, I already know it's over. I knew it was over 8 turns ago.
Yeah. We just played it out for you guys, for the fans.
For the fans. What fans? Look, throw it. Throw that bunny.
Boom. So now I can't attach double colorless energy.
Piece.
But that's not a problem because this Giratina is going to go down, and I know that because he can't end my hand away because there's no end in this format, and I have the Hex Maniac and all the necessary item cards. I'm just doing the math here.
Yeah, we're just doing that. Alright, so he Hex Maniacs. This card's broken.
Yeah.
Really. It's so good.
So
we love it. If we gotta talk about anything, we talk about Hex Maniac. This card's ridiculous.
I just like a lot of the safeguard Pokemon or Pokemon like Vileplume, those stage 2 support Pokemon or walls that normally their ability just stops your opponent from interacting with them. Hex Maniac just gives you a way to break through that wall for a turn.
Yeah.
So I feel like in the future, like as the game develops, a lot of those kind of setup and win decks where it's set up and win based on ability, something like Clink Clank, decks can easily just play one Hex Maniac and now those strategies just won't work. So it's like very powerful and it's like a skill based card, but at the same time it also like stops certain cards from being viable. So I'm not sure how much I like it or not as a card, but it's definitely something. It's definitely strong. It's definitely a strong card.
We know that for certain.
It's like metagame dependent, but like any metagame where there's like abilities that you can't interact with.
So at this point, I'm just asking Dylan if he gets to his 170, and he's taking forever to think because he loves his Vespiquen so much.
Yeah, I think I was sad that I had to discard a Combira.
And I was like, "Are you kidding me, Dylan? Just tell me if you got it." And he finally discards these two. And
I said that I had it.
I was like, 170.
I said that I had it, but Russ just wanted to see it. And
look,
I was making sure I did it perfectly.
I gotta do it for the fans, man.
I had to do it perfectly
for the fans. So he pitches away a Sycamore, extra BM. And I was like, maybe I can take this dude out. I feel a thinness. Deck is pretty skinny there. I was like, oh, I mean, VS Seeker, get Hex Maniac back, basically blow you out of the game.
Yeah, Hex Maniac for Shaker Dash.
So I'm sitting there picking it up, and I was like, alright, let's see, Vileplume.
I got AZ.
And I'm gonna look here. And U-Ball. Oh, I know. This is what I did first. I Ultra Ball try and get Giratina off the 2 you burrowed, and I go.
Oh, the other one's
nope.
prize.
No thanks. Peace. We got
Yeah. Once you realize the other Giratina was prize.
Yeah. We're out of here.
But even if he got one, he still would have been in unwinnable position.
It would not have mattered.
The next Giratina would have just gotten lysandred, and then the other 2 were in the discard, and I would have the game in the bag.
No. I really fear Hex Maniac playing with Giratina. Overall, how do you feel about Giratina? Vileplume? I don't like it.
I don't like it. The deck feels clunky, but I actually like both cards.
I like both cards individually.
Yeah. Like, the threat of, like, Vileplume, Giant Plant Forest, just, like, locking your opponent from items turn 1 for the rest of the game without being, like, restricted to a low-damage attack like Quaking Punch is super powerful. But at the same time, it's kind of awkward to build a Vileplume deck because
so flawed.
You have to make it so item-based to get it turn 1 consistently, and then you shut off a significant portion of your own deck. So I feel like at some point in time, especially if people become like too item-heavy, like too speed-based, Vileplume's just going to come in there with something, probably not Giratina, and bop everybody and catch people off guard. But it's not something that I'd be flocking to right away.
Same.
Yeah, a lot of people are so excited about Vileplume because
I feel like it's there. I feel like it's in the back pocket.
Yeah.
You know? But even if you're playing Executor Vileplume and Expanded... Sorry to talk about Expanded even though we're on X and Y on, but you're going to hear our thoughts. Yeah. So, even if you're playing XY Vileplume and Expanded, if you open the Oddish and you're sitting here trying to establish your eggs, like, you're kind of bodied, you know? You're like, oh, okay, I'm going to sit here and make my Executor, and you have instead of working towards the Executor and starting the blockade and then getting your Vileplume block, you're just, like, trying to sit here and get rid of the active Oddish in order to start blockade, which might be those 2 or 3 turns. You needed blockade to go off, or they're going to blow you out.
Yeah, the deck needs to go off turn 1, which means that you need to run a lot of items, like, not even, like, setup-based items, but switch, just because, like Russ said, if you open with the wrong basic.
So you guys might be thinking, alright, well, Russ, why are you playing Trainer's Mail? Why are you playing Level Ball and, like, Ultra Ball and all this other stuff, even though you're playing Vileplume, but you refuse to play Switch? It's that turn 1 Vileplume, getting your Giratina, getting your energy drop.
And even with all these items, it's still really hard.
It's still very awkward to build it.
Oh,
so the unknowns, next game.
The unknowns are just to turn our level balls into draw. It's like because we're playing level ball to speed up our deck, we're also, if we have an Oddish already, and then we don't have a Giant Plant Forest, so we don't need a Gloom, then level ball essentially reads draw a card. Yeah. So we can cycle it.
So you both open shaymin, you know. Good old $25 card, no problem. I like it.
Start off with a trainer's mail.
Trainer's mail.
So,
Level ball.
So, like, I don't know. If I start Shaymin and Russ gets a turn 1 Vileplume, it's very unlikely, unless I open, like, Hex Maniac, Battle Compressor, Ultra Ball, that I'm even going to be set up at all. So, it's, like, really, like, Russ's, like, biggest win condition, I think, and the thing that I'm the most afraid of. But I just see the oddest Shauna, and I'm very happy.
Yeah. So, when I went for that level ball, I just like, ran through the deck, counted Vileplumes, counted Glims, and counted Giratina. As long as I saw, like, 2 or 3 of each, I have no problem with whichever price.
The bunnelby strategy probably won't come into play as much this game. That was kind of like a weird game where Russ had a slow start because of his own Silent Lab, and I happened to start bunnelby going second, so that's not a common scenario.
But it definitely showed its worth.
Yeah, but you still saw how Hex Maniac interacted with Vileplume, and if you don't get the Vileplume fast enough.
So we get Unknown, and still, I'm searching for that Giratina Energy attach, possibly a Gloom, possibly a Stadium. Don't get it. And Dylan goes with the... I can't tell because you...
I think that was
Trainer's
Mail.
Yeah. You hide cards.
It's also harder to see from my side just because the deck's on the opposite side. Maybe
course.
in the future we should try and like slant the person that's facing that way so you can see their hand as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
what are you going in general? Our initial thoughts on Vespiquen? So good.
yeah,
I really like it.
I mean, it's basically like
think
Flareon,
it's-
and Flareon doesn't really lose anything except for Flareon and X and Y on. So they give us a new
Flareon only
Flareon.
lost, Flareon itself.
Yeah, Flareon. Yeah. So I mean, it lost Trump Card, but I don't even think Trump Card was that big a loss to the deck. I tried to mitigate that by playing bunnelby and Drudd as an extra attacker.
Mhm.
And a
You'll
Sacred Owl.
notice in our list, compared to everyone else's list, there's no level ball, right? I think we didn't play level ball. I didn't like it.
Level Ball is very bad in Vespiquen because even though you have 90 HP, which is kind of cool and it seems really tempting to play, you really just want to be playing 4 Ultra Ball because your deck wants to be discarding Pokemon, and I don't know, you don't want to be
Trying to sit there and just establish Vespiquens the entire game when you're trying to get to resources to.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it the right way. Also, building the deck. It's like level ball would be nice to add consistency, but you kind of want... I'd rather play stuff like Trainer's Mail because it's more of a priority to get the battle compressors early than it is to get the Vespiquen early.
Yeah.
So Trainer's Mail is better, and Trainer's Mail can also hit Ultra Balls. And then you just don't have the space for level ball. You'd rather just be playing more Pokemon, because when you have to play so many Pokemon to hit this high damage output, then you have to play all these like battle compressors and enough consistency to make your deck work.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a certain amount, 7 or 8 energy, you only have so much room for like text, and you'd rather play stuff like AZ to make sure something doesn't get stuck active, or Hex Maniac, than you would waste it on the level, like 1 or 2 level balls for the extra consistency. So that's why they're not in the deck. And like anybody playing less than 4 Ultra Ball, I feel like is making a pretty big mistake.
A huge mistake.
Yeah.
Even if you're going for like a 3/3 sprinter level ball Ultra Ball right now, you could dedicate those 2 extra spots. You should have 4 Ultra Balls to better cards.
Yeah, I agree.
Muscle Band is not in that.
Yeah, we're not sure. Muscle Band may or may not be
It might need to be in there, but the way the game's progressed, not even just against this deck, I just felt it was unnecessary. Like,
I'm playing the Stadium instead.
Yeah.
Because in case people play Groudon, the Stadium, I don't even know what it's called, it does 20 to Mega Pokemon.
It's Old Town, or some... It's Faded Town in Japan, Old Town in English.
Yeah. So you see, Russ didn't really have that much. Russ didn't have a Giratina active, so I was just kind of use Skyreturn with my Shaymin into like another Shaymin because I wasn't really any other under pressure. Like if he doesn't have a Giratina with an energy, all I really need to be doing is battle compressoring away a ton of Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm playing all my items, and my start was also like really bad, so I think I also needed to pick up the Shaymin into my hand just to set up again because I didn't have a supporter. But I just figured I'll go into another Shaymin because I could afford to Skyreturn again and pick up the Shaymin.
Watch the split, Birch boys. All right.
Yeah.
Fan coin, please.
Yeah, and you see, like, even with all these, like, Russ has gotten some bad starts, but even with all these items, like, the turn 1 Vileplume is not guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how turbo people are making their builds if they have a consistent turn 1 Vileplume,
But, like, as soon as you get the Vileplume, I don't feel that juicy about it.
Yeah.
It's so underwhelming. I think I have Vileplume here, but I don't have the Stadium. So, I just set up, go into another one, and the game's getting progressively worse for me, because, again, I don't have a Giratina down, and I don't have an energy.
Yeah, if he's not attacking with Giratina and he doesn't have Vileplume, even if doesn't look like I'm doing anything, just the fact that I'm discarding Pokemon with battle compressors and getting more turns of items is much more of a benefit to me than it is to Russell.
Yep.
One of the cool things about the new evolutions, though, is that if you start with an Eevee, the Jolteon is free retreat. You can Ultra Ball for Jolteon and then free retreat out of there.
It's really good.
Cool.
It's really cool. Well, you'll see that in our games later on against Metal Ray and X and Y on.
I don't know if I ever started with it, but I definitely took advantage of the free retreat.
It definitely came into play like mid-game when you're at 3. Like we were both at like 3 and 4 prizes left. Yeah. It started taking a toll when you can just retrieve Vespiquen for free to the Jolteon, and like in the like particular situation, I had no Mega Ray set up. But we're gonna talk about that later.
Yeah, so
we're going off a tangent.
Yeah,
so he's in the setup.
Yeah, I mean, this game isn't very exciting right now just because Russ doesn't really have much going, and I'm basically just playing all my items and using Shaymin to help go through my deck. And since I'm not even being attacked, I was like, oh, I can just Sky Return. You can't do this if they attack you with Giratina, because then you can't attack the DC. And I'm not really worried about getting a bunch of double colorless energies down, because there's not even a Giratina with a single energy.
Yeah. So don't try to take this as like, oh, Russ's start was so bad, these matchups are getting like blown out. This is like a standard start that I was getting with this deck. And
occasionally
that's
you
why
got a turn 1 Vileplume.
Yeah, occasionally when I got the turn 1 Vileplume, it was gorgeous.
But you really have to get the turn 1 Vileplume going first.
But you have to hit so much. You have to get the Stadium and the Vileplume. And then, while you're at it, you need a Giratina plus an energy. It doesn't sound like much, but with the supporters we have in this format.
Like Shauna.
Yeah, like Shauna.
You saw us odd as Shauna starts.
Yeah, it's...
I mean, Birches
it happens. Birches is gorgeous if you feel bad. I need to buy a Finnegan coin.
20xx. Finnegan.
So, I finally get the Stadium down. Does it do anything for me? Pretty not sure. I'm not sure. Set up. Giratina, please. There we go.
It's finally going to come out for us.
Yeah. So I get to discard Juniper that I drew last turn.
So at this point, I'm like, alright, I guess I have to start attaching double its colorless energies to my Pokemon now.
And I need the Giratina.
But he still has a Pokemon that's not Giratina active, so I'm like, okay, he can't play AZ and Lysandre on the same turn, so as long as my Vespiquen is on the bench, there's no danger of him even knocking it out. Yeah. Like, I can just, if I could have a Vespiquen with a double colorless next turn, sit chilling on the bench, and be like, okay, this is untouchable.
I had a Juniper here away, a DCE after Ultra Balling away a DCE, which really hurt, but I kind of need this Vileplume. I need to regulate any future battle compressors and VS Seekers into a Lysandre if he hasn't played Lysandre already, which I don't believe he did. He's just going to have to Sycamore it away in order to get that. And the only reason I want Lysandre to get regulated is my Giratina is chilling on the bench, ready to get KO'd. And it's not fun. So he benches another...
I mean, this can get
scary blocking it. You need to move your hands back.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing in the future.
I was trying to move my hands up so that the camera could see my hands, but then what it
ended up doing was there's no hope for that. We just talk about it. Yeah.
I mean, I think I just have like a combi.
Oh, look at Dylan. He sucks. He did it this time. I got Vileplume. No VS Seekers, boys.
I'm a scrub amateur.
You're so bad.
The thing that I have to worry about is if Russ gets like 2 Giratina.
Why'd you retreat here? Let's discuss that. I know why.
That's what I was talking about last turn. I said that the Vespiquen with a double colorless energy is safe on the bench because you can't AZ and Lysandre on the same turn.
Okay.
And because if you can't, you have to still attach to the Giratina this turn, so you can't attach and retreat the Shaymin. But you're splitting the energies between Giratinias, which is not 100% what I was expecting. I also figured if I promote Combi when I evolve the Vespiquen, it is free retreat. So that was the other thing I was keeping in mind.
Yeah, we adapt and survive, baby. Let's go. And a Juniper away, a Birch, and I think an Ace Trainer. Like, I was sitting on it, and I was thinking, should I Ace Trainer this man? I'm like, nope, we gotta go.
I mean, yeah.
I need to draw into an AZ in order to get the Shaymin out the active. And I also pitched away 2 DCEs, so the odds of me drawing that DCE for the Shaymin to Sky Return back to my hand was very low.
50-50.
So he gets the Vespiquen down.
I mean, I think I promoted the Combi knowing I had the Vespiquen.
Oh, yeah, I assume that, too. You're not just going to sacrifice the Combi like that. Unless you're wanting the grade, but it's better to sacrifice the Combi than
there was no way that you could... Yeah, you would have to, like, AZ, DCE, kill the Combi, and then I just bop you with Vespiquen and you would lose. So it's definitely correct to split the energy. Now it's kind of, like, awkward, because I'm like, if I hit you with Vespiquen this turn, then you're going to come up and kill my Vespiquen, and my Vespiquen will kill you, and then you'll kill that Vespiquen. That's not good. So I'm trying to think of the best way to approach this situation, because I don't want to give Russ too much time, because if I give Russell too much time, I decide to just play my Stadium just to get it out of my hand, to draw until I have 6 with Vespiquen's first attack.
Dirty.
But I'm just, next turn is when I kind of want to start hitting him.
Yeah. So now I'm thinking, if I AZ, I can't Lysandre. And I can take out one of the active Vespiquen with the energy.
Russ tried it too.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that.
Just tried to skip over that fact.
We Hexmaniac.
There was no Hexmaniac.
Oh, I know. Life. Reasons. I pass.
Yeah, the fact that he didn't have an energy, I was pretty happy. Yeah. So now I'm like contemplating attacking because I'm like, alright, Russ doesn't have an energy now. If he sends up a Giratina, I could at least kill that Giratina with my Vespiquen.
Yeah, so now I'm in an awful situation where he can go knock out the Shaymin, even if I get a DCE down next turn and knock out that Vespiquen, he can knock it out with the one with the DCE on it, and then I try to trade with my final Giratina to DCE. But you win the game if you're able to go off my giant plant forest into Comey Vespiquen energy.
But then I can't reattach.
You can't reattach onto the Giratina, so that was in my mind too.
Yeah.
But it was super situational after discarding 2 DCEs for me to get there.
I think at this point, you can't see how many Pokemon are in my discard pile, but I don't actually have enough Pokemon to kill your Giratina unless you kill one of my Vespiquens.
Yes.
So at this point, I essentially can't Lysandre kill a Giratina, so I'm like, alright, I might as well not give Russ more time to draw energy because he didn't have one last turn. So eventually I'm going to decide just to kill the Shaymin. Just because I have to start applying pressure to you so that you have to kill one of these Vespiquens, and then I can knock out your Giratina with my Vespiquen, because my problem is I'm sitting on a Lysandre with not enough Pokemon, and I'm trying to figure out the best course of action. I shouldn't have actually benched the Eevee in the beginning of the game, because the evolutions don't really do anything in this matchup. I should have probably just gotten rid of that with Juniper. I think I did bench it to set up for one more card, but in hindsight I wish I wouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm just using this turn to Hex Maniac and get some supporters back, because I decided that I can't Lysandre this turn. And I might want to Lysandre next turn.
Yeah.
Or in a future turn.
So you Hex Maniac, 3 VS Seekers.
Yeah.
Hex Maniac's so good, man.
My deck is getting kind of small, so I didn't want to get Sycamore back. And you're forced to knock out this Vespiquen, so Teammates is definitely going to be really good. Or maybe I didn't have the Lysandre yet, but I decided that I could Teammates for the Lysandre.
Yeah, and then Vespiquen just starts kicking your face in. Yeah.
Essentially, I decided if I kill your Shaymin, and then you come up and you kill my Vespiquen, and then I kill your Giratina, because now I have enough Pokemon once you kill me. Then I kill that Giratina with my second Vespiquen. Then your second Giratina is going to come up and then kill my Vespiquen, and then I won't be able to reattach double colorless energies.
Yeah.
So then my plan was to Lysandre Russell's Vileplume, and then hopefully he wouldn't be able to get it out of the active and it would be stuck. And then I would be able to use the
free turn for a DC.
Yeah, free turn for a DC, essentially. Which is why... Yeah, but I don't know. I couldn't lie. That's why I played the Hex Maniac for the teammates, so I could search for the Lysandre. Trying to think. That's why that last turn took a long time. Trying to reiterate my thoughts.
If you're new to the game and you're just trying to keep up with our channel and everything, you'll see that we want to discuss our current turns, 3 to 5 turns ahead, because that's how you should be thinking in the game. Your mindset should be: how can I progress from here? How can I take all 6 prizes? And what could I KO that actually advances the game state rather than just taking the free 2 prizes? We're gonna,
you
know what I'm saying?
That last turn I was planning on how I was gonna play out the rest of the game, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I didn't want to bring up my Vespiquen first, but I'm like, oh man, I didn't have enough Pokemon in my discard pile, which maybe I should have prioritized more in the middle, early in the game, making sure that I would be able to hit those 15.
Yeah. So I took the knockout here because I have to start getting rid of these Vespiquens. I'm like, okay, cool. Next turn, if I hit a DCE, you're wrecked.
Yeah.
You got him.
So now I'm playing the teammates, I believe, that I searched for last turn with VS Seeker. To get the Lysandre if I didn't already have it. Probably another backup combi. Oh, the Bunnelby dirty.
Bunnelby. And the unknown.
I think my thought behind the Bunnelby was because I run 3 basic energy, so if I do Lysandre to the Vileplume and that plan doesn't work out in the future, then I'll be able to attach a basic energy to Bunnelby and shuffle 2 basic energy back in, so I still have a shot. Or shuffle the I still have Hex Maniac to play my 4th VS Seeker or something. I don't know. Basically, so I still have plays to get more basic energy and Lysandre's back in my deck.
Yeah. So I get a Gloom down, empty out the hand a little bit. Unknown. Oh, we hit a DCE. Boss.
So we get knocked out here. And this is what I didn't want to happen.
Away.
I wanted Russ to miss one of those energy attachments, of course. But
yeah. So I Silent Lab. That way I regulate the Comey Vespiquen the following turn. And then do whatever Granny's attack is. We don't have English cards, so.
I think I promoted Jolteon because that's a
free retreat.
Yeah, but I should see if that Jolteon and that Eevee would have been in my discard pile from the very beginning. If I would have discarded that Eevee, then I would have been able to Lysandre your Giratina on the bench and not had to swing into your Shaymin with my Vespiquen.
Yep.
And then I could have gotten the first hit. Then it would have been Vespiquen kills Giratina, Giratina kills Vespiquen, second Vespiquen kills second Giratina. This would have been much easier, but. We kind of figured that out because this was the second time we ever played.
Yeah, this is the 4th time I'm actually playing this deck.
Yeah.
And then
This is the second time I think I'm ever playing Vespiquen.
Yeah. So we're learning, and we want you guys to learn with us.
Yeah, so now at this point I'm just counting AZs because, like I said before, I was making the teammates for Lysandre play. And
So you count one. I'm positive I only had one in there.
Yeah.
And then I still had 2 left in there.
I was like, yeah, there's a lot of cards in his deck. There's a lot of cards in his hand. It's like 50-50.
So Lysandre, I think you get down to Combi?
Yeah. I think I get down to Combi with the double color.
No, you pass. You suck. Body.
Oh, no, it didn't matter. Because, like, even if I get down to Combi, it doesn't really matter. It's more about getting the Combi DC. So it's like if you have the AZ this turn, and then you attack with Giratina again, I can't play the DC this turn. I think it wasn't a priority for me. And I see a supporter is not an AZ, so I'm very happy. I'm just like, alright, anything but AZ, man.
And I break out the Shaymin to try and stall him down.
Yeah.
Because I don't like him having free retreat. So he hexes so he can get items.
Yeah, now I gotta search for my combis and such, but at this point, I feel like I'm back in the game because he can't play AZ and Lysandre in the same turn.
Yeah.
And he just burned a Lysandre.
But to reiterate, at any point in the game where you're like, I need to level ball, you know? Or like, up Hex Maniac, level ball was solely necessary. No, it was just, Ultra Ball gets you there.
Yeah, I was doing fine with just the Ultra Balls. Like, if somebody really wants to play one level ball, I feel like it's not a terrible mistake. Like, if you want that tiny boost in consistency, like level ball over Trainer's Mail, I'm not going to make a big deal about it. But if you're playing, like, 3 level ball, you're probably doing something wrong. There's probably better cards you can be playing. Bless you, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We got our someone's PC crew.
Yeah,
here.
someone's PC crew's here. Minus Mark. Because he's being all productive with society.
So, yeah, I prioritized the combi with the DC there. So, cannot get AZ'd and Lysandre in the same turn. At this point, there's not much Russ can do, and he just kind of scoops it out because he realizes. I think I showed you the Lysandre, and then you were like, oh, okay, it's over. Yeah, I showed you the Lysandre, and once I Lysandre your last Giratina, then nothing you could do. So, I mean, that was the series. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just showing you how these decks interact with each other.
Boo!
That everybody's hyping up.
Boo!
Boo.
Boo!
Ah.
I don't like the deck. We're gonna be honest.
Vespiquen's cool.
Vespiquen's cool. I don't like the Giratina Vileplume.